Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. It is Debbie Grote here, CEO and co-founder of Forward Coaching. What a good topic for this time of year, because I know you're all starting to think about projects and priorities, finding leverage for yourself so you can get ready for a really big productive year in 2025. And we are expecting improvements in the market. So we're hoping you'll be very busy, which means you may need to have some administrative help of some type. And so, I started selling real estate at the age of 18. And here's the crazy thing. Back then, nobody had administrative help. I was one of the first agents in my local market to hire a full-time admin. And I think most of the real estate agents thought I was crazy. Like, what is she doing with a full-time admin? But, I realized that there's a lot of stuff I'm good at. Meeting, greeting, selling. There's a lot of stuff I'm not good at, which is the back end paperwork and the details. And I don't, quite frankly, want to be good at it. So if you're here today because you're thinking, I need some help, but I don't know where should I get it? What type of help should I get? How do I be a good boss? All of those questions. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I've asked one of my expert coaches, Alyssa. She has joined us on the webinar today, and I'm really going to turn control of this over to Alyssa, because after 36 years as a real estate broker, agent, trainer, manager, coach, Alyssa had a massive team at one point, multiple admin, multiple ISAs. I mean, she is pretty much, what do they say? Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, right, Alyssa?
Yep.
So whenever I have a client that's looking to plan either now or in the future for an admin, I send them to Alyssa. And even if right now you are your own admin and you expect to be your own admin for the foreseeable future, that still means it's important to have the systems that you need to run a predictable machine, because a predictable business will produce a predictable result. So Alyssa is going to cover as much as possible with you guys today. We're going to stay on at the end to answer your questions. And also, she'll take about 5 minutes at the end to share if you need access to a very affordable, incredibly comprehensive program to teach you to do this better and provide templates and resources you need. We'll tell you how you can get that. But first of all, I want to turn you over to Alyssa. Be ready to take some notes, turn off your phone, give her your attention, and please type your questions in the chat box. Alyssa will grab them as she sees appropriate. But remember, we're going to circle back. So at the end, we're going to go back and make sure every question was answered. So Alyssa, they're all yours.
Well, thanks so much, Debbie. I'm super happy to be here, and welcome everybody. I'm glad to share this content with you. All right, so why is this topic so critical for all of us? Well, one of the things that I've learned over the years is that there's a lot of ways to look at success in this business. It could be that you want to make more money. It could be that you want better quality of life. It could be that you want to take more listings, or maybe you want to get more referrals. The thing is that when you look at all of the other agents that are out there, no one has more time, no one has more hours in the day, right? We all know that. We all have the same amount of hours. It's what we do with those hours that really will make or break whatever your idea of success is. Okay, and the way to do that is you need to have systems and processes in your business to run a predictable a predictable machine, a predictable business. And you need to be able to leverage so that you can maximize those income earning hours that you have in your day. It's so important because you can do anything with this business, but you can't do everything, right? You can do anything you want, but you can't do everything at the same time. So today we're going to be talking about how we can leverage systems in your business. So let's make a deal. We're going to do our best today to share as many ideas and techniques that we can in our short time together. And when you stay to the end, you can ask us questions and you can also type those in the chat box. And also we'll share with you how you can get more help if you need it. But I am going to give you 3 awesome tips today to help you create this leverage in your business. So the number one system that most agents do not have working properly in their business is they haven't created a marketing system that you or your assistant can easily and instantly implement. So what does this mean? This would be a marketing system that brings leads to you, on a consistent basis. In order to make that happen, we need a plan. So consistent marketing really is a struggle for most of us. How often have you thought, I'll get to that mailing or that postcard or that newsletter or that social media post, and then a whole month goes by and you haven't been able to get to it. Partly it's because we don't know what to do, we don't know what to say, we're not quite sure what our clientele wants. So when we have a system in place to help us with this, we can be much more productive, and some of those questions that we have about what to do, what to say can fall away, and it can be a little bit more pleasant if we get a system in place. But this is a very common problem. I want you to know you're not alone here. And consistency is really the key for us to stay top of mind to our list, if we can figure out how to do that. So we get busy, right? And our marketing stops until we run out of clients. So we're on that sales roller coaster, that up and down sales cycle that all of us hate. It's such torture to feel like we're starting over and over and over again. So you need a system to follow so that you can stay consistent and so that your business leads coming in can be consistent. So the number one marketing system every agent needs is a marketing calendar. Now, a marketing calendar is going to help keep us organized, and it's going to keep us consistently in front of our people or in front of whatever our lead levers are that we have chosen that we are going to be working. So how many times have you thought, I don't know what to do or what to assign to my assistant? Or maybe you don't have an assistant because you're not quite sure what you would want to assign to an assistant or give to an assistant. Or maybe you don't even want an assistant, you just want your business to run more smoothly. The calendar solves all of those issues. So there's 3 ways that, there's many ways you could do this, but here are 3 common ways that I see people doing it. Number 1, they'll have a large wall calendar where they will put each one of their tasks on there. Okay, that's one. Another one would be a large desk blotter. Now, where I am, a lot of times around the holidays, the title companies will give out desk blotters as their kind of keep in touch thing. And those are kind of nice. They can be sitting on your desk. It's easy to see, and it can be just about your marketing. That's one option. Or you can do a Google Calendar or an online calendar. That's what I do. I have the online calendar that I created. It's a separate calendar from my client calendar, but I can click to it and I can look at what are my marketing tasks that I have planned for today or for the week. All right, so Jennifer Lawrence, she's one of my longtime coaching clients, and she has been working with me on her systems. And so we got the systems all up and running. And then her assistant after a year or so, moved on to greener pastures. And so now she's starting over with a new assistant. But the nice thing is we did all of the work. And so we're just implementing all of these systems that we had in place and sliding somebody else into that spot. So the work that you do with this can either, when you do a marketing calendar, the work that you do can either work for you, on your own, or if you do hire somebody, you can slide them right into the things that you want them to do. Your marketing calendar is how you or your assistant are going to project manage all of your marketing for the whole year. So here's an example plan for your past clients or your SOI. Okay, and this is what part of the marketing plan that I work with for people for the whole year looks like. So here's January. So what you do is you decide what is going to be your direct mail piece in January, and then you work backwards. You reverse engineer what you're going to do. And so in the marketing calendar, you'll lay out all of those steps to help you to manage it, to break it down into these manageable little chunks. Okay, so I have on here just to help people kind of think of things that they'd like to do. I have their direct mail piece and then any email blasts they're going to do. And if there's an event. Okay, so that's kind of our marketing calendar in a nutshell. You project manage the whole thing. You start with the end in mind. Okay, so you figure out what is your end project, and then we just reverse engineer it and we get it all documented in your calendar. All right. Your number 2 system that you need to really create that business that's going to be coming to you day after day is to create an effective and automated lead follow-up system to increase conversion. So you can automate or you can delegate almost everything in your business, even your lead conversion. This is what I did when I had my large team. I had 4 full-time assistants, I had 4 buyer's agents, and I had 16 ISAs. They did everything. My job was to go out, sell the house, come in, flip the file over on Caroline's desk, and I was on to the next one. Everything was automated and delegated. Now, it didn't start that way. The way that it started was I figured out how I wanted it done. I laid it out, and then I was able to hire somebody to help me to execute those things. Okay, but you can automate anything, and you can do it on software, on autopilot with little to no input from you, especially with the tools that we have available to us today. For instance, one of the very most powerful systems we have is our CRM, our customer relationship management software. So back in the day, when I first got in the business 36 years ago, 34 years ago, I got my first CRM. So I purchased a really robust system. It went on the desktop. It was called ACT. And I had to hire a full-time person to run it because it was so complicated. The thing is, nowadays, it's so easy to work with these CRMs. Yes, there's a learning curve on CRMs, but once you get the learning curve, it's amazing. It's like having a full-time person working for you and you don't need to pay them. It's wonderful. So you want to take advantage of that if you have it, because in your CRM, we can automate mailings, we can automate emails, we can automate drip campaigns, we can automate all the follow-up and the repetitive tasks. Even if it's just a reminder for you to call people, utilizing those CRMs is huge. Like, for instance, let's just think about your clients that you might have sold last year. How often are you talking to them? It's easy for 6 months, 8 months to go by without talking to people, and then we're embarrassed to reach out to them. But with a CRM, we can set up a task that reminds us, hey, call Sue for lunch. So these things are great. Next, you want to be able to delegate anything that can't be automated, but does not need to be done by you, which is almost everything. The things that you need to do are the negotiation and the lead follow-up. That's what you're supposed to be the best at. Sales, the negotiation, and the lead follow-up, the hot leads, just the hot leads, okay? Delegate everything else. Now, I understand this is a process, but it can be done. I've done it, and I've helped a lot of other people do it. The first thing you do is you start by making a list of all of the dollar supporting tasks that you do. You want to think about errands. You want to think about your file management, your TC work. You want to think about your marketing and anything that does not require that client-facing, helping people to make a decision, okay, needs to be delegated. You can even delegate the follow-up calls until they're closer to being ready to talk to you. So remember, I said I had 16 ISAs. You guys, those were high school kids. So they would come in, they would make the calls. They had a short script that they would follow up. If there was any hot leads in there or people that were, had some interest, then it got delegated to my assistant. And she would follow up until they were ready to talk to me, until they had more pressing questions that she couldn't answer because she wasn't licensed. So, but you can delegate that. And I know a lot of times people are afraid to do that, but to be honest, there is a way to do that. And it can be very smooth and it can help to keep your pipeline filled up better. All right. So our 6 to 12 month leads would be our example where this would work. So here is a worksheet that I put together to help you to figure out how to do this. So one of the things that we need to do is we figure out who our avatar is or who it is that we are working with. So for this example, let's use first-time home buyers. So what we want to do is we want to think about what are some of the common questions or objections that we hear from our first-time home buyers. And then the next section is, how do I address those concerns? What could I do? So for me, I have a newsletter series. It's 24 months of newsletters that I mail to first-time home buyers. Now you could do it by email. I just have found that mail is more effective, but you do you the way that you want to do it. But the thing is, what I did is I created one per month. Now I didn't create all 24 at a time. It was inch by inch, a little bit at a time. So I addressed their concerns in the newsletter. And then I figured out, how can I add more value? Number 3, what could I do? And so what I moved into was seminars. So all of those things piggybacked and layered on each other, and it ended up creating this really robust pipeline that helped me to need to hire 4 full-time buyer's agents to work with all the leads that I had, because I've been doing it for a while and I didn't want to run around with buyers anymore. I'm sure you can relate. I just wanted to work with the listings. So that was how I did it. All right, system number 3. This one is really important, and this is that you need a white glove service. You need a white glove service system that leads to rave reviews and a steady stream of referrals, right? Because that's really the key. If we can get referrals, that's the answer, because people who come to us as a referral, they're not challenging us as much. They trust us more quickly. They're more responsive. They respect us better. So, the referrals is really the answer, but we got to figure out how to get there. So I want you to think about every aspect of your business for just a moment. Think about all of the things that you do. In fact, there's a handout out there. I think Debbie might have sent it out at one time. It's like 184 things that we do to service our clients. You can find it online too. It's a lot of things that we do as a real estate agent, and that doesn't even cover everything. I mean, there is a ton. And I bet that you have a way that you want to do everything for your clients. I bet that you do it in a very special way. And the thing is, whether you realize it or even if you don't have it documented, this is, even if it's just in your head, this is still your signature system. This is the way you do things. And this is the reason that people come back to you and refer you, because of the way that you do things, which is your signature system. So when you turn this signature system into a process that can be duplicated and delegated, it becomes super valuable. Not only can you bring other agents in to work this system, also you can sell your system at some point. But I think the most important thing is that it helps you to be able to explain your value to your clients when you meet with them. And we all know that explaining our value has become very important. And so this signature system will help you do it, and it will help set you apart from your competition. Again, it just makes it real easy for you to explain what you do, who you are, and why they should work with you. So here's a couple examples of what I do for my signature system. So the first 10 days that I have a listing, my assistant calls every day, or texts or emails, but there is some connection with the client for the first 10 days. And these are a list of things that they do. And the first call, of course, is for her to introduce herself, because I want to, and I tell them, that she is who they, should talk to, because she is in the office from 9 to 5 while I'm out in the field. And so they feel comfortable, but then she calls and introduces herself. And I have a script for that here. And then I have a list of the things that she does for the first 10 days. Also, the 10 days prior to closing, she also has calls to make and texts and emails to send to help them to feel comfortable right before closing, so that they understand what's going on. Because communication is really the biggest challenge for us, right? Because we're busy with clients. So once we get them pended, then we're off to the next one. And sometimes that communication piece is hard to keep up with. So she helps me with that. Now, can you imagine what it would do for your business if you had a predictable listing process, buyer process, pending process, close process, keep in touch process? Can you imagine what that would do for your referrals and for your client satisfaction, and also for your peace of mind, not waking up in the middle of the night thinking, oh no, did I do that? Did I take care of that? So here are some of mine. And these are things that are going to be available to you. We'll talk about this, that I can share with you to make it easy. So I have a whole listing checklist, a buyer checklist, and a post-closing checklist that you can rob and duplicate. And I have an action plan for each one of these phases to help you to implement, because a lot of times all of this stuff is stuck up in our head and we just don't know where to start or how to get it down on paper. So what I'll be able to do is provide you with a start to help you get going. So here's an example how you can do this on your own. So you can think about the listing process. You sit down, you write out everything that you do. Okay, so here's my pre-listing process. So it talks about getting a pre-listing package out, coordinating the drop-off, pulling all of the information that I need, and it goes on to all the way down to getting them updated in my CRM and preparing the paperwork for the listing. Okay, so there's a number of things that happen in a pre-listing process, but I think for a lot of us, we're kind of scrambling to think about, we get an appointment and then we wait until the half hour before the appointment, and then we quickly pull everything together, throw a file together, and then we're out the door, and maybe we feel a little harried. We don't feel quite prepared. So if you had a system to help you with that, even a check sheet that you could do, that will help you to do that and with less stress. All right, and finally, here's a little bonus for you. I think this is something that you need if you're trying to create your dynasty, your business dynasty, okay? You need an operations manual to pull all of this together, okay? To figure out, what are your policies and procedures? What are your operations? How do you do the things that you do to create this amazing signature system that's going to have your clients raving about you and leaving you, 5-star reviews? So an operations manual is super important because it helps you to create this predictable machine that you can, like I said, easily drop new team members, your leads, and your clients into. So here's an example of the table of contents. Now, this is the table of contents in mine, and this is all written out, and you're able to modify it to fit your team, your ideas, your goals, your vision, for your business. But just so you can kind of see what some of the things are that I have put together in here. Okay, and then you'll also add any procedures, checklists, templates, and processes that you have for your signature system. All right, so Laura is someone who did come to the course. She was not a coaching client at the time, but she came to the course and she just felt that the handbook alone was worth the price of the course. And in fact, she is now a coaching client and she has gone on to open her own brokerage. And so a lot of the things that we went through helped her to do that. All right, so let's review what we've covered so far. Number one, you need a marketing system that you or your assistant can easily and instantly implement. Number two, you need to create an effective automated lead follow-up system that's going to increase your conversion. And the way to do that is to think about your ideal client and make sure that the content that they're getting appeals to them. Okay, it can't be generic. The generic ones, the set it and forget it ones, I haven't found them to work. Okay, and system number three, you need to create a signature system, which is your white glove service that, again, leads to rave reviews and a steady stream of referrals. All right, if you guys have questions about any of that, go ahead and you can type in the chat, and I'm going to quick look through what we've got here, and we're going to bring Debbie back on. She's got a couple things to share.
Yep, awesome. Well, let's go ahead, Alyssa. We'll hold the questions for just a moment because I know that some people are probably in a rush to get on with their day. So those of you who can hang out with us for a while, please do. And, we have every confidence that because you showed up today, you can take charge of this. You can create some of these systems and new processes. But I know many of you are so busy that, what if there was a better way, a way that you could get a little bit of help? So we don't want to take a lot of time, but with your permission, what we'd like to do is just take a moment and share Alyssa's training that I think, Alyssa, you spent about 2 years working on this and you're the pro. So we like to say, we want to help them cheat and do things the easy way, right? Instead of the hard way. Yeah. So Alyssa's course is the Advanced Admin Specialist. So who is this right for? Actually, as we said in the beginning, really anyone here today, because even if currently you are your own admin, as Alyssa was speaking a few moments ago about having those systems that when you hire an admin or a new admin, you can plug and play and pop that person right into your system. So if you're doing your own administrative work, this course absolutely will be very valuable. Also, if you want to hire a rock star admin assistant, Alyssa's going to guide you in the course of what to look for. And, one of the awesome things about the course is that she is available to you via email in between the sessions that you watch. Now, if you have an admin, but maybe you're a little bit frustrated because they're not performing at a high enough level, or they're not reporting back to you, or there's gaps or details, and you're wondering, is it my admin or am I just a bad boss? Could be, right? We've all gone through that. But Alyssa will not only teach you how to hire the right admin, how to improve your admin, but also how to be that better boss so that your admin doesn't quit, right? Because here in the real estate industry, we have a tendency to scare them away. I know some of you have had that happen. I know I have. So what you will have in our course is 15 weeks of training and Q&A. You'll also have worksheets, assignments, checklists, fully editable operations manual, and step-by-step instructions to create your systems. And Alyssa, am I mistaken? I thought we decided to make it more available for them. Did we turn it to an on-demand course, right? We decided to make that change because I know many of you in the past had said, I wanted to join Alyssa's course, but I just didn't have the time or it didn't work for me to show up when it was scheduled. So we forgot to change the slide, but we'll make sure that we do that next time, that now it is easily available for you on demand. So you'll have access to a beautiful little special learning management system portal. You'll go right there, easy to find your module, easy to find your corresponding worksheets, checklists. At the end, you're going to end up with this fully operational manual that is editable so you can customize. Now, then in between, you will have access to Alyssa. You can email her questions and she will respond back personally and directly to you. So admin, you want to click the next slide for us, Alyssa? Thanks. So the goal is we want to help you have what you need to be a top producer, agent, or team. We know that the years ahead are going to get busier. We've been very low in the transactions across the country the last couple of years, but all expectations are the next 1, 2, 3 years. We're going to see that step up. And I don't want you to lose any deals because you're busy trying to do the back end work, right? That's not the magic of what you do. So she's going to give you step-by-step instructions to create your systems. Remember, predictable machine will give you a predictable result. So here are the skills that you'll develop. Turnkey systems and checklists. These are all done. So she's not going to just talk about them. She's going to tell you how to do it, give it to you to do, and show you how to customize it. Then, how do you create your signature system of 5-star service? I think with the new rules of real estate, it's more important than ever to have those 5-star reviews. Also, how to empower and inspire your assistant to take ownership of their role so they never want to leave. And then she's going to walk you through, how do you interview them? How do you train them? How do you create that leverage? And you know, Alyssa, I was talking with someone this morning who's watching now, and she said, I have to do this course because she said, I'm a great salesperson. So I sell them on accepting the job. And then I later decide they really weren't right for the job. And it lasts about 30 days. So Alyssa's going to help you avoid those mistakes. So guys, if it just got the busy work off your plate and into the hands of a highly effective admin, would it be worth it, right? Would it be worth it to spend a little time with Alyssa? Or if it helped train your admin, she actually will train your admin for you through this course. Teach them to do the work that gets in the way of your ability to earn more commission. And I know that would be worth it, right? So we've tried to make it as affordable as possible with all of those goodies included. If you choose to join the course, you can do that today for one payment of $597. Now, this really is the gift that keeps on giving, because you will now end the course with your manual, which you can use ongoing, your templates, which you can use ongoing. So if you are a forward coaching client, a Brivity client, a place member, and a member of Land Voice, so you're in any of those groups that are great supporters and partners of ours, you will get a discount. And you will see Jessica is typing into the chat right now. She's watching all of you. So just type in, hey, I'm a Brivity client. Hey, I'm a place member, and she'll get you the correct link. But Alyssa, let's go back to the QR code, please. We went through that a little fast. So if you can click back. For everyone else, though, if you're not Place or Forward or Brivity or Land Voice, you would use that QR code. And Alyssa, we're going to be turning this on immediately. I think Jessica's here in the room with me as well. Jess, when would they have access to this? Right away. So immediate access. You don't have to wait. And I'd love to see you get through the course as quickly as possible. And Alyssa, how many modules are there?
So there's 15 modules, and then there's also a bonus module that has information about hiring. So it has a sample ad, it has questions to ask, it talks about payroll, some thoughts on that where you can go for it, and just to help you get the hiring piece off the ground if that's something that you want to do.
Yeah, and I think if you think about it, guys, if you would watch maybe a module on Monday and a module on Friday, and then that would get you through the modules by the end of the year so that you could start the new year with your manual and with your systems in place. And Alyssa, approximately how long are each of the modules?
You know, they're pretty action packed. And so they range from about 25 minutes to 35 minutes, but most of the weeks do have some homework. There's only one week that's just more talking about some ideas, but the rest of it, there is homework. So you will need to have a little time in between to complete the homework, but that's where you're going to get a great start. You're going to get my examples, and then you'll create and take my examples and make them your own.
So the homework is, when I think of homework, I think of things that sometimes we do that we go, wow, this is useless. Why am I doing this? But this is actually creating step by step, piece by piece, their systems and their operation manual. So once it's done, right? And they're
Yeah,
good.
exactly. And it's not going to be super drudgery. It's just, I've created the ideas for you and exactly what I do, and then you just change it. So like where I am, it's we use title companies, but maybe where you are, you use escrow. So, you know, it's just like that, just changing some of it, making it work for you. Yeah.
So, Karina, I really love your question. And yes, we do have testimonials from the course. So, Jess, if you can grab Karina's information, we'd be happy to send you a few. But it's a very valid question. Many of you may have a connection to Keller Williams, and you have met my good friend, Monica Reynolds. We've been friends for 30 years, so I know Monica well. Alyssa knows Monica. Monica's Perfect Assistant program, how does it compare? Monica actually offered us the rights to license the rights to her program. She had Alyssa come in and audit her program, and we decided to create our own. And the reason we did that is what I wanted to provide was the templates, the worksheets, the checklists, where in the Perfect Assistant, a lot of information is shared verbally, which is great, but I wanted each module for you to leave with something in hand that was easy to implement. So we just went the extra mile, and Alyssa took the time to create it from scratch. So, so that would be, you know, my comparison. We have more tactical pieces. Monica's wonderful, brilliant, and my very good friend. We just wanted to give you something more tactical in your hand at the end of the course, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm looking to see if we have, where can you get a copy of the handouts? You have to join the course. Okay, so all the templates, all the worksheets, that is part of the course. And let me just scan up and see if they asked anything else. All right, guys, if you have a question for Alyssa, maybe there's somebody that you're, you know, hiring or having trouble with, you know, please feel free to go ahead and type that in. We'll address it. And when you finish your modules, so we're assuming that you would watch one per week, but when you finish those modules, you know, even if it takes you only 8 weeks, you're going to still have 15, and you're going to have 45 days beyond that. Because we know that there might be some of you who would actually hire an assistant during the course, you know, during the 15 modules, and you may want to go back and start over, and that will give you some additional time. So you'd have 15 weeks, and you would also have an additional 45 days. So Again, from the top, instead of live, we have changed that to on demand, so it's easier for all of you. You'll have worksheets, assignments, checklists, operations manual, and then the step-by-step instructions. So Alyssa, is there anything else that they would need to know about, what they would be walking away with in terms of those checklists, worksheets, anything you'd want to share?
I think the thing that people have found the most helpful is just, like I said earlier, getting all of it out of your head and down on paper. That's the hardest thing for people to do, to think about all of the things that they do. And so this is going to really shortcut everything for you so that you can, again, create your signature system, because, you're going to do things, you're going to add additional things, but it's a shortcut, a big shortcut.
Well, and I don't know about all of you, but this is not my favorite part. Right? I'd rather go sell a house, right? Or come and talk to you guys. So I feel that having that to just use as your blueprint, if you like it as is, great. But if you want to tweak, you want to adjust it, it's all fully editable, right?
That's right.
Okay, awesome. Well, Alyssa, thank you so much for joining me today. For those of you who need the help, please go ahead and register. Remember, you can watch this on demand, so you will have time. And I'm reading a note from Destiny. I'm on a team, and my team lead is considering making me a full-time admin TC. Is this class or training good for me? So, Alyssa, what do you think? With this?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yep. Because I talk to two different people in the course. I'm talking to the agents, and I'm also talking to people that are going to come in and do the work, and how important and valuable that job is. And so it'll give you a lot of tools to be able to do your job well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I am really wanting it to be sure that you have absolutely the best year ever in 2025. We deserve it, right? It's time. It's time. It's been an interesting year. So we want to, get this party started. I always think in October, I have to remind everyone, the holidays do not begin on Halloween. Keep working, right? Let's get ready, because since the business runs on a 90-day cycle, a lot of what you're doing right now is going to pay off in that first quarter of the year. All right, guys, have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And if you have any other questions, you can email me, Debbie@forwardcoaching.com. Amy, answer to your question, absolutely. If you are brand new to real estate, you will not know where to begin with the role. Alyssa will absolutely help you. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks, Alyssa.
Thanks, Debbie.
Bye-bye.
Bye.